Today I'm doing the last section of this first part of the book. It's chapter 6, so it's part 6. So I'm doing that, and I'll be talking about disappointment, heartache, the subterranean grief you feel. I spoke a little bit earlier about that, but I'm doing more. Guilt, despair, and acceptance. It's disappointing to be the one left behind. There's massive heartache and disappointment because all your hopes and dreams for the future are gone. I would watch couples my age and older walking together and know that I would never have that experience again with my husband. We did not have 20 more years together. I was disappointed that I lost him so early. I think we always think it's too early, though. All our plans could not be fulfilled, and future grandchildren would not know him. There was a loss of family. All the dynamics of the family may alter dramatically after a death. My children were disappointed for me and themselves. They were also disappointed for their children. It is hard to look ahead and see nothing together. The memories are all you have now. You wish you had travelled more and shared more activities. You wish you'd had more time. And you are disappointed that now you are single. Disappointment is an unfilled want or need. Gradually, you accept your life and become more grateful. You focus on the gifts that precious relationship gave you and the wealth of love you shared. Disappointment lasts as long as we look back and see what was not gained. In time, you will come to terms with it. There's a great deal of heartache. It is a heartache that you will be unprepared for, and one which really lasts for ages. I felt there was an actual ache and a burning sensation around my heart. I felt like my heart was breaking. The feeling of having a heart attack happens to many of us. This is the time to take good care of yourself, rest and avoid stress on the heart. Take herbs and minerals like magnesium and coenzyme 10 can help you, and vitamin C as well. You can place your hands on your heart, and some people like to wear rose quartz there. Acupuncture can also be a valuable tool, and there are special acupuncture points which feed into the meridian grid. Check them out on the net. Heart 7 and pericardium 8 are 2 to begin with. Some people use rescue remedy, a homeopathic medicine. Some people use Bach remedies. Some people use pharmaceuticals. Basically, you need to exercise, but in a gentle way. While you are grieving, the heart is under attack, and too much vigorous exercise places extra strain. Yoga, walking, light jogging, and qigong are good. Try not to exhaust the body with too much clinging and lifting, everything in moderation. I kept away from draining individuals, which helped. Drainers come in all guises. Check how you feel after some time together. When you come away exhausted, you have been drained. After loss, your energy is already depleted, and so I kept away from shopping centres or crowded places. It is not uncommon to exhibit heart problems during or after the grief situation. The heart is particularly vulnerable to emotional stress. Consult your doctor if you are worried. Try not to become too tired. Stay in bed later or have an afternoon nap. The body heals when you rest because the energy from moving around is sent to other parts of the body. And when you sleep, your body repairs itself. Grief takes its toll, and I believe the heart is the hardest hit. I talked briefly about the subterranean grief. Initially, I felt my grief was like a rocky river. Everything was moving fast and my emotions were heightened. It lasted for months, and I still have a little bit of a rocky river time sometimes. However, then a strange feeling started to occur. It was like the surface became more calm, but beneath me there was this raging torrent. It was with me all the time. The tears subside somewhat and the agitation settles. But now your grief is submerged, and as life goes on, it appears like you are getting better. This time is very deceptive. The dust may settle, but the deeper emotions of sorrow, fear, and anger manifest in this strange way. I could literally feel the subterranean grief. The volume of emotions were turned down, but they still had power. I talked and laughed a lot, but inside I carried this massive amount of grief. You may experience this. It is a weird and silent reminder of the deeper healing. At first, you deal with the top emotions and the power of them, and then afterwards, all the core feelings begin to circulate in you. No one sees them because you appear more like your old self. After loss, we are always changed. That part of the heart that loved them is not the same. Although it is good you are moving through the process, the drawback is that others think you are better. In fact, you may be worse. The terrible reality walks with you every day. The pain of loss sits sadly in your being. I felt a constant misery inside. Of course, I was used to my lonely existence and could cope with the changes. However, the undercurrent sadness was hard to bear. It was like tears that had settled in my soul. I felt like I was crying on the inside. When the depth of loss is great, the deeper I feel the subterranean river of tears. Guilt is an emotion you have when you do something wrong. So it seems rather ridiculous to have guilt during loss because for the most part you do absolutely everything to support your loved one. However, guilt prevails with grief. You may feel guilty about anything you failed to do. I actually felt guilty for years because I never made the Branbury cake I promised to make for my now deceased mother. Although I knew on a deep level that guilt was completely unfounded, it continued. Guilt features during loss, and you have to let it go. You will worry about not picking up that they were ill, not doing it right, not being a good enough partner, and the list goes on and on. Second guessing happens constantly, and on reflection, you make assumptions. Remember that while you were in the midst of dealing with the situation, everything was consuming you. Now, when you criticize your action or lack of them, you're not in the same space, emotionally or mentally. Stop allowing the guilt to take over your thoughts. You did your best at the time. No one passes through loss without having some guilt, and although it's an unrealistic response, it's common. Sometimes you may have what they call survivor guilt. You are left and they are gone. You question why you are alive and they are not. It can feel unfair and maybe an uncomfortable realization. I was left with the house, some money, and a good life stretching ahead. He was gone. Be grateful you were able to be part of their life and death. Honor what you gave and forgive yourself for any transgressions. Nothing is perfect, and hindsight is a hard taskmaster. Despair is the absence of hope. Going through grief makes you despair. The countless hours alone, the empty bed, and the missing gives little hope. You might feel it's all too hard and want to give up. You look ahead and see more lonely days stretching forever. I felt massive despair, but I tried to replace my hopelessness with positive thoughts. He was never coming back, and I had to adjust to my new reality. I despaired I would never be happy again. Some people never recover from loss. They simply resign themselves to their life and suffer in silence. You are not losing your mind when despair hits. It's a normal reaction to a monumental change. You are tired and sad, so wanting to give up is understandable. Reach out during this time and ask for help. Often we need others to pull us out of the bog. Try to find some happy things to focus on and plan something good. I often try to do something for somebody else. I would ring someone else, buy someone else a present, organise something for somebody else, and that seemed to help. The death of a partner is nothing like the death of a parent or friend. Your soulmate is gone and you pine. You will get better and the despair will go. However, at the time, it's an awful feeling to endure. Acceptance is slow. Be patient because your new life with its immeasurable losses takes time to come to terms with. There are many changes to grapple with, let alone accept. Be kind and gentle when working towards acceptance. The constant reminder of your daily life gradually brings you to accepting your fate. There is no way to change loss. Your entire existence is forever changed. There is no way to go back and only a maze of unknowns ahead. I found the more time passed, the easier the acceptance became. The reality is that that person is never coming back. More than time, I believe acceptance heals all. Time brings you to this acceptance. I took baby steps, accepting my husband had died and I was left alone. Accepting my new lifestyle was difficult and I struggled. My new role as a widow made me redefine myself. Although there were many possibilities ahead, there was also loss and loneliness. These seem to overwhelm the possibilities. No one replaces someone you have loved. You may fill the space with other people, activities, but it's never the same. I actually miss the familiarity and closeness that you gain by simply living as a couple. You have lived together and nothing or no one is filling that void. Over the months, acceptance becomes easier. Your time alone is the new norm. And as you look wistfully at other couples, you realize that was not part of your life. It could be again, but not with this person. Finally, you face the fact that it's over. All you have are memories and the fading story of your times together. And that is sad. Acceptance works layer by layer. You cannot rush or skip over it. Your reality reinforces the changes and cements the truth. You reminisce and remember events and special occasions. However, you accept your time as one is over. And the tears and loneliness finally bring you to this destination. Acceptance is living in the present while honouring the past. There is great growth in acceptance. You allow yourself to heal into the future with promise and the lessons learned. Your heart finally begins to heal, and the sunshine comes out more readily into your world, and you begin your new life as a single person and survive.